evening. This is just in. There have been reports of lightning strikes in and around Treetops Raceway Park. Oh, it's just the Lightning Strikes Twice tournament. Get ready. This is an all-electric vehicle diecast racing tournament presented to you by Treetops Raceway Park. Stay tuned for some intense racing action. Good morning and welcome back to Treetops Raceway Park, home of the crossover. Today will be semifinals, heats 1 and 2. We have the Mystery Machine here. Ford's brought one of their pickup trucks, and we've got a dropped Nissan Titan pickup truck there on show. Here are today's competitors. And as always, our tow truck crews and our first responders. And here will be Heat 1. Pre-Bird from Commotion Diecast in a Tesla Roadster at 60 grams. Then we'll have Giorgio from G-Force Racing in a Lucid Air at 59.7 grams. Here is Big Mac from Madness Motorsports in a Lucid Air at 60 grams. And here is Dalvis Jenkins from Commotion Diecast in a Tesla Roadster at 56.8 grams. And now we'll move into semifinal Heat 1, Race 1. We have Giorgio and Pre-Bird in the front row, Dalvis and Big Mac in the back row, and they're off. And it looks like Giorgio's gonna get the whole shot. Big Mac cuts off Dalvis. You got Pre-Bird chasing. Oh, they got an impact there. Big Mac's trying to get by. Giorgio will lead him in the final turn. Right there you see Big Mac gets hung up on the wall. Giorgio will take the race with Pre-Bird and Dalvis following him, and Big Mac will get a DNF. I hope Larry's not that busy today. Here you see Giorgio uses that slingshot move to get on the outside of Pre-Bird, and then Big Mac tries to cut off Dalvis and does. He gets up into third. Giorgio slides out here, Pre-Bird hits him. And Big Mac tries to get in the outside of Pre-Bird, and Pre-Bird cuts him off, and then Dalvis hits him, and right there you see Big Mac starts to get hung up on the wall, right there. And he starts losing his speed, everybody goes by him, and he rolls into that final turn and falls right off of the track. An 11.010 for Giorgio. So Giorgio will take the lead with 5 points, Pre-Bird with 3, Dalvis with 2. And let's move on to Heat 1, Race 2. We'll have Pre-Bird and Big Mac in the front row, Giorgio and Dalvis in the back row. And they're off. It's like Big Mac is going to pull the whole shot, followed by Dalvis, then Pre-Bird, then Giorgio. Dalvis pinches off Pre-Bird. They do get going again. Big Mac's going to lead them into the final turn. Pre-Bird gets spun around and Giorgio gets by him. Big Mac goes into the final turn. Big Mac will take the race. Oh no, Dalvis just flipped it over. And Pre-Bird runs into him, flips him back up right. Giorgio gets second. We have a double DNF with both Dalvis and Pre-Bird. Both Commotion Diecast cars. Right here you see Pre-Bird tries to get to the outside of Dalvis. Dalvis gets pinched down to the inside, and they lose a little bit of momentum there. But right here you see Dalvis comes out completely sideways, gets up on the wall and gets up on two wheels and just rolls it over as he heads into the turn. Giorgio sees it. He goes high to avoid the wreck. And Pre-Bird starts high and just does not have the momentum to stay up there and drops right down and hits Davis, flipping him back over on his wheels. So Big Mac will turn a 10.134 lap time, which just brings the points to Giorgio with 8, Big Mac with 5, Pre-Bird with 3, and Delvis with 2. Now we have semifinal Heat 1, Race 3. We have Big Mac and Delvis in the front row, Pre-Bird and Giorgio in the back row. And they're off. Looks like Delvis is gonna get the whole shot. Big Mac gets by the inside of Giorgio. Giorgio is pushing. Big Mac tries to get to the inside of Delvis, but gets pushed off the track. Luckily gets back going again. Delvis will lead him in the front turn. Giorgio is pushing him. Delvis will take it. Giorgio, then Pre-Bird. Big Mac has to hit him and push him across the line. Big Mac will take fourth. Right, you see here, you see Big Mac getting by Giorgio using that slingshot move. And then he comes up right here and gets underneath of Delvis. And Delvis pinches him down off of the track and he gets hung up right there on the wall. And luckily he has enough momentum to roll off. But Pre-Bird gets by him and he slowly coasts down the track. But he gains enough momentum in that last little bit going into that last turn so he can finish the race. Pre-Bird gets a little slide out there. Big Mac helps him across the line. 10.314 for Delvis, which takes the points to Giorgio with 11. Delvis with 7, Big Mac with 6, and Pre-Bird with 5. Now we have semifinal Heat 1, Race 4. It is still anybody's race. We have Delvis and Giorgio in the front row, Big Mac and Pre-Bird in the back row. And they're off. Yeah, it looks like Delvis is going to get the whole shot, followed by Giorgio with Big Mac pushing. Pre-Bird gets by Big Mac. Delvis will lead them into the final turn. Delvis will take first. Giorgio comes in second. Pre-Bird third, Big Mac fourth. Right here you see Big Mac tries to get by, but Giorgio cuts him off. And right here, Pre-Bird gets by Big Mac going into the turn. Pre-Bird is holding off Big Mac. Big Mac makes one more run, but just doesn't have enough to catch up. A 9.614 for Delvis. And I believe that will get him on the record board. Yep, it takes him to number 7 at 9.614. And now we have the final points in with Giorgio with 14, Delvis with 12, and Big Mac and Pre-Bird tied at 7. So that means Giorgio and Delvis will be moving on to the finals next week. And here we go now. The Heat 2 will be Big Al from Big Al's Custom Diecast in a Lucid Air at 57.9 grams. We have Biff Kirby from NRV Diecast Racing in a Tesla Model X at 60 grams. Papa Pugsley from Manchild Motorsports in a Tesla Model 3 at 58.3 grams. And Scooter Roundwell from Spirit of 64 Diecast Racing in a Lucid Air at 56.1 grams. And here we go with semifinal Heat 2, Race 1. We have Biff and Big Al in the front row, Scooter and Papa Pugsley in the back row. And they're off. It looks like Biff Kirby is going to get the jump, followed by Scooter. It looks like Big Al got in the wall a couple times there. Biff will lead them into the final turn, followed by Scooter. Then Papa Pugsley, then Big Al. Big Al is pushing, and he gets Papa sideways, and they stall out before the finish line. We have a double DNF. Larry and his crews are going to be working again today. There you get a shot of the mystery machine. Right here you see Big Al hit something in the track and get some pretty good air up onto the wall. That allows Scooter to get by him. Papa's pushing him, and Papa Pugsley gets a nice run on him going into the turn, into the Lane Automotive turn here, and does get by him, is able to block over and block him off. Meanwhile, Biff has checked out on everybody, and Scooter has a pretty good gap for second. And here you see Scooter got a little bit of a lift there coming out of that corner. And Big Al tries to get to the outside of Papa Pugsley. He tries to pinch him off, and it does neither one of them any good. A 9.507 for Biff. I have to apologize for the camera angle on this one, which Biff will move up to 5th place with that time. Biff with 5, Scooter with 3, Papa Pugsley and Big Al with 0s. Semi-final, Heat 2, Race 2. Big Al and Papa Pugsley in the front row, Biff and Scooter Roundwell in the back row. And they're off. It looks like Big Al is going to pull the whole shot. He does, followed by Biff. Scooter gets by Papa Pugsley. Biff is pushing on Big Al. He's trying on the inside. Big Al will lead them in the final turn. He gets up on 2 wheels. Big Al will take it, followed by Biff, Scooter, and Papa Pugsley. Right here you see Papa Pugsley gets around sideways, or backwards, which allows Scooter to get by him. And there you see Biff is trying to get around Big Al, but Big Al is not having anything to do with it. Big Al will run a 10.158 lap. And that will take Biff to 8 points. Big Al and Scooter tied at 5, and Papa Pugsley with 1. Semi-final, Heat 2, Race 3. Now we have Papa Pugsley and Scooter Roundwell in the front row, Big Al and Biff in the back row. They're off. Looks like Scooter is going to take off. Scooter is holding off Biff. Biff's trying to get by him on the inside. Biff goes to the outside. Biff spins. Scooter will lead them into the final turn. Here comes Big Al. Scooter leads into the final turn here, followed by Biff. Scooter will take it. Biff second. And then here comes Big Al. Big Al will take 3rd. And Papa Pugsley got pushed off the track up there in the Lane Automotive turn and gets a DNF. Some more work for the crews. Right here you see Biff trying to get to the inside of Scooter, and Scooter accelerates. Biff continues to try to push, goes back to the outside. It looks like he's got him here. But Scooter accelerates again. Biff tries to accelerate and loses the back end. Here you see Big Al coming down the track. A 9.614 for Scooter Roundwell. That'll get Scooter up on the board at number 9. Now, Biff with 11, Scooter with 10, Big Al with 7, and Papa Pugsley with 1. Semi-final Heat 2, Race 4. We've got Scooter Roundwell and Biff in the front row, your 2 points leaders. Papa Pugsley and Big Al in the back row. And they're off. Looks like Biff is going to pull the whole shot, followed by Scooter. Oh, Biff loses it. Big Al is off the track. Biff gets back on track thanks to everybody else. Scooter is following him, followed by Papa Pugsley. Biff will lead them into the final turn. With no issues, Scooter will come out, take second. Here comes Papa Pugsley for third. Big Al stuck up on the Lane Automotive sign with a DNF. Let's see what happened. Right here you see Biff got sideways, slowed up and hit the wall. Both Papa Pugsley and Biff are completely sideways. Big Al tries to get by everybody on the inside, and he gets pushed off of the track. You'll be able to see that right here. He is off of the track, and Scooter is not going to let him back on. And he's running right off into the sign. 11.886 for Biff. That brings the point totals to Biff with 16, Scooter with 13, Big Al with 7, and Papa Pugsley with 3. And your transfers will be Biff at 16 and Scooter Renwell at 13. We'll move on to next week to the finals. I want to congratulate Giorgio, Dalvis, Biff Kirby, and Scooter Roundwell. Coming up next week, the finals, 4 cars, 8 laps. Saturday, March 25th at 8 o'clock. As always, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this broadcast, and thanks for watching.